I have learned a long time ago that women are the future of man. This is a very known scientific fact. Women are the future of man. When I started studying at Palma, there were 220 students in my class. 2 girls. 2 girls only. Can you imagine the good life they had? Now, there are in France 700 young people studying chiropractic in between Paris and Toulouse. There are about 450 women and only 300 men. In other words, I'm happy to lead this discussion tonight because I think chiropractic is taken over by women. And we've got to do something about it. Is that the right direction, Mark? Okay. I am very happy to participate to this panel because I was married a few times. I like women. I had 5 girls, so I am very keen for the feminine people. And I think you've got a special role to play for our profession, for chiropractic. I have learned also a long time ago that women are more complex than men. They are more intelligent. It's not trying to be nice and polite. It's just that you are more complex. That's why your puberty period takes longer. You are more complex. And it starts with your belly. So, how do you see your role to promote the profession in our society? Because you've got an unbelievable role to play because of birth, small children, raising them up, following their neurological development and everything. I think you've got a fascinating job to do. But I would like you to get more involved so that, look, this is a dream. I think all children should get chiropractically checked from the beginning, from birth, number 1. Number 2, school also. School is a trauma for children. To leave the family, to start in a new situation and everything. And I think you have a lot to play, a lot to do. So how can you do that? How do you see that? What would be your perspective in that direction to promote the concept that we like and cherish? You want to say?
I can introduce myself.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. I'm Katrina from 360 in Norway, Michael's other half. We have a lot of kids in our office, and I think, first of all, women, especially if you've had kids yourself, but also if you haven't, you have a motherly instinct that's just there. So I think that's just an easy beginning to, maybe it's easier for you to see kids in the office. It's more natural to have the kids there, whether it's babies or mothers. Also just that the feminine touch, because some patients function better with a male or a female chiropractor. That's just how it is. Some people have a personality that totally does not function with one doctor and it works great with another. So I think in our office, we try to have as good of a mesh of female and male energy so that there's a balance of energy in that office so that one's not taken over by the other. So I think that's, yeah, for now, good.
Hello, I'm Susanne Steyers, the other half from Mark. I'm not working with patients. I'm a healer practitioner, but I'm not a DC, and I'm actually not so good with people. I like more animals than people. And it is, I had to learn chiropractic completely new. I met Mark. I had no idea about chiropractic, what it is, what's coming towards me. And I worked in the beginning with Mark together, and we had a home praxis, and I had a newborn, and I had to breastfeed the babies when we had patients, because when a child want to eat, they want to eat, so they don't care there are patients sitting or not. Patients thought, oh, that is cool, she's breastfeeding. I had a towel over it, and I thought, oh my God, I'm sweating, this is so uncomfortable, and said, oh, that is really an interesting environment. It's like, and the children got always chiropractic care, sure, but they are seeing also chiropractic lifestyle, and this is what I try to do in our family, chiropractic lifestyle. It's like having good food, having quality time with your family. And also with Mark, it's not so easy with him, like he don't want to take vacation, who needs vacations, whatever, I need to book the flights. So now he's saying, okay, we're going again, and this is all important to have deliver this really that other people are seeing what are you doing, what is the difference. And I see this in school, also the children see this in school, being free with their mind, not getting brushed in school in one direction, and saying like, okay, we are not vaccinated. And Nicholas just sent me recently a message, like, we are not vaccinated, oh? And I said, no, because one boy is saying that's not possible. And I said, that's a choice. That is like you can educate yourself, and you, with your parents, you need to see, did you want this for your children or you don't? But you need to get the information. And before I had no idea about it, I got raised with like, you have to go to the doctor, you have to do this, you have pain, you go to the doctor. And then I meet Mark and I said, no, you don't need to do that. And when we met, he got adjusted and he said to me, okay, I had always boyfriend and never took the pill, but he said, when you don't want to get pregnant, you need to watch out. And I said, what is he talking? I'm 3 months with him together. I always had like, okay, I know when I'm getting pregnant, can get pregnant and we're not. We are 3 months together, I'm pregnant. So I said, oh God, is this working out or not? We see it. Till now it's working perfect out. We have 2 children. So I say chiropractic lifestyle is really important. And I hope that, you can pass it on, that living it and that other people are seeing it. And then said, okay, that's interesting. What are they doing? I want that too.
Thank you, Suzanne. So can you say that being around Mark, it has affected greatly the way you have led your life with your children?
Definitely.
Don't you think that all women could benefit from it?
Absolutely. That's a so different lifestyle. Also, what I have to say, Germans are really stiff. Oh, I need to take them. Okay. We like German. I can say only Germans. I don't know in other countries. We are a little bit stiff. We think about how you look, what are you doing, what are the people thinking about you. So I met Mark and want to go out with him in public, and he has a ripped shirt, and I said, can you change the shirt? We want to go. And he said, why? And I said, we will meet maybe some friends. And he said, you know who I am. What difference did this make? This is like what I am. And this is what everybody should know, that let go what other people think about yourself. You should be yourself and live your life.
Thank you, Suzanne. Well, a ripped shirt, it's you made him another man anyway. I just wanted to say something. Suzanne, when are you going to start giving lectures to women to try to explain to share these informations? They don't belong to you only. I think you should start giving lectures, explaining, it's no joke. There are many clubs and organizations and stuff, and you should present a little program, 1 hour, and say, how chiropractic has changed my life and my kids' lives. It doesn't cost anything. You just share information. You say, I tell you, I knew nothing about it, but this is what happened to me, and I want to share my positive experience with you. Nothing to lose. Maybe you can bring a couple of euros that would help Mark, so he could go to a 6-cylinder car.
The thing is, I'm not sure that people want to hear actually what I have to say once in a while, because I picked up on Mark's behavior as well. Once in a while, I'm a little bit rude. I'm in front and confronting people like, I have some really interesting new friends in my life, and they know I'm picking up what's going on. I said, you need to tell what's going on. You can't take this inside. And we women, we want to do everything perfect, and we don't think about ourselves. And I'm saying always to the children, when I'm fine and I'm feeling well, you guys have an amazing life. But when I feel like shit and you give me only shit, it will be horrible. So first, I have to say, you have to be a little bit selfish. Think about yourself, that you do what you love, you have a nice hobby, like I'm riding, I enjoy this time with the horse, and take my phone off. Everybody tries always to, and even I say from 12 to 3, there's no phone calls. Even the office is calling me, then I'm seeing 4 or 5 calls. Take some time for yourself and nurse yourself a little bit. Then you can deliver so good to other people.
Yeah, my name is Karen Rosner, and actually I don't have children. There was a time I bought into the story. I was told I can't have children. I always wanted to have children, many children even, because I wouldn't survive it and the child wouldn't survive it. And well, at that time I bought that story. So I have 12 godchildren. So actually life provided children in a different way to me. So, and I have godchildren right now from 2 years old to 32 years old. And the first are already getting married and have their own children. So actually the family is growing. So, and Jean-Paul, you said to adjust people since the time they were born, I would say actually even before that. So right after conception, and actually ideally taking care of the mother and the father while they are conceiving. And you see really a difference taking care of kids. And I hear it from the parents all the time. I said, oh, the kids, they really enjoy it. It's like animals. They feel what is really good for them and say, oh, at home, they imitate you. They were playing. And it's like, yes, because they know actually what's really good. And what really amazed me, it was a couple of months ago, a friend of mine was in the States and she was pregnant and they made an ultrasound. And normally you have the baby crawled in that position. All of a sudden, the baby was fully open and totally free. So, and that's really how I see the future. And you talked about it, that say, nobody is in fear and not in that fight or flight position. And it seems over centuries, and if you look from a historical perspective, being in war, not knowing how to survive, and it's the first time in Germany we lived such a long time without a war. Never before in history that has happened. So all of a sudden we realize that shift. We realize that shift in children, and even all of a sudden the doctor said, he has never seen something like that in an ultrasound. And that was, wow, the parents have been adjusted all the time. And that creates a difference. And that's a difference I want to see for all the children, for all of humanity. Imagine these people come into life having no armor, having no fear. It will be very different.
Thank you, Karin. I really appreciate what you said, which is 100% what I feel too, intuitively. I'm not a woman. I'm a man, but I fully agree with what you just said. Now, the question is, how can we communicate in an optimal way so that as many women as possible, because each woman should be exposed to what you say. So it's a small event, but personally, I'm started speaking to young kids in school. I did it last Monday. I had almost 200 people, young people making Abitur over the last 2 years, the parents and the teachers reunited there. But I think, don't you think that people before they become parents, as you just said, you're completely right, they know nothing about before, they know nothing about life, nothing about birth, nothing about a baby. You know, when I got my first child, I was 23 years old. I had no idea what a baby was. And I think it would be a great idea to explain to young people, men and women, what they can do for their kids before the kids come. You are completely right, pregnancy, and then at birth, how to support them, how to help them, how to follow the evolution. How practically, what would you say of having a program in schools? Because they teach us a lot of stuff in school, but they don't teach about breathing, which is the most important thing in life. There is no teaching about breathing, you know. There is no teaching about posture, which is the most important thing, because the posture defines 90% of our health. So how do you think practically, would you have any tip to try to expand in that direction in terms of communication?
So now I fully agree with you, and we have to bring it into schools. And I already had conversation with some of the teachers. Actually, I was talking to teachers, women, and they said, the kids really need it. And we talked about it. We were really excited about it. Unfortunately, it didn't happen because of the legal structure. Said, okay, it's really a difficulty to get it into the system. All the parents have to agree, and the school has to agree, and even the authority from the states, they have to agree, and getting all that paperwork done. And so finally she said, I can't make it happen. There are so many obstacles. It's really, right now, I don't see it. And the way she said it, well, she said, all I can do, I bring it so into my groups. And I believe we should bring it into kindergarten and really going there. And I believe the time is ready. We have to go there. And one other aspect, because I believe man and woman function different. If a man is under stress, goes into fight and flight. I believe the fight and flight reaction of a woman is different. Women are connecting with other people. They have their network. They are making friends. And when women are under stress, they call their girlfriends. They need to talk. They need to talk to another person. They don't go into that fight or flight position. They go and connect with other people. And I believe our whole society is a male society. We need to form groups of women to empower and have that connection, and that's supporting all the women across all generations. And I believe that can create a major difference if we have that, and also empower the man. It's like yin and yang. We all belong together. It's just from a different perspective, how we live life.
Hello, my name's Katina Manning. I'm from Massachusetts. And it is difficult for us to bring things to our school system because it's a very tight system. So what I've done in my office for the last 30 years is do it right in my own little yard, right here. I know if I can influence the mother and the father, and I can adjust the mother, and she has an experience, she wants that for her child. The more I can train her, she can go home and spread that through her whole family. And she can make her husband come get adjusted. She's the one who's the pivot for the whole family. So for me, I have a very large woman's practice, and it's necessary. The children, the older I've gotten, I'm having my younger doctors take on all the children because they're young, they're all having babies now. I like dealing with the 60, 70, 80, 90, 100-year-old patients because they've been my patients for 30 years. So to see them grow and help them become the example for the younger children, when the younger children come in and the mothers come in and they see the 90-year-old spry, happy, communicative, they want to be like that old man or that old woman. So we're setting the example and we are setting the bar. So, yes.
Well, Jean-Paul, give me a hint. I think there are things, they're really great, and I completely agree with what you said. The mother is the pivot shift. The mother is the focus to the family, because women care more about health than men. Men just, work till they collapse. Yeah. But and I don't think there is this is a bad change that we have more women in chiropractic schools. The same thing happened in med school as well, but therefore will become a problem with our treatment in the hospitals in the future. I don't think this will appear into chiropractic life, because women are able to treat men also when they are pregnant, or if you have a real good chiropractic life, you will have the change to, you don't have to stop working when you're having children. And that's the difference in between these two systems or schools.
Just one comment. So what you just said, yes, we have more women at schools, in the university, and we see it in chiropractic, we see it in medicine, we see it also in other disciplines. It's very different if you look actually in the profession, and if you look where do you have people, where do you have women in leadership position. We still really have very few women in leadership positions, and nowadays it's really underrepresented. So they're at schools, and then what happens afterwards?
Maybe. In the medical profession, there is the thing that the hospital schedule or working is not as much maybe comparable with having a family life like if you're working in another profession, just to and therefore a lot of the women going through med school, they never ever worked in the hospital, and therefore maybe in these special case we also have less women in leading positions. Maybe.
This is exactly what I was worried about. You know, Karin took the first opportunity to become political. You notice that. women revendication. But thank you. It's everything you say is quite interesting. Do you think children can understand the difference between a woman and a man? You know, I always say that first we know scientifically that the eyes of a woman make more kilometers a day than a man. This is a known fact. It has been measured. Number two, if a man wants to buy some pants, he goes there, it's going to cost him 80 euro and it's going to take 10 minutes. If a woman wants to buy clothes, something to wear, it's going to cost 130 euro and it's going to take 40 minutes. Why? Why? It's real studies, by the way. Why? Because the woman is curious. She has to gather information to feed her nervous system because she's been programmed to protect life. You know, never forget that. But children don't know it. They don't know how important the mother is. They look at the father and mother. They don't understand this complexity. What I always say, I really appreciate what you said about connection. If a man picks up his son at the school, like Mark Steyer's, I've seen him already. He goes there, he blows the horn, opens the door and says, "Come!" Suzanne is the different thing. She parks the car double file, you know? Wrong. Doesn't matter. She put the blinker when she thinks about it. She closes the car and she goes to pick up the son. And she starts speaking with some other mothers. What do they speak about? I would like my son to start music lessons. Could you recommend a teacher for me? My son has got a middle ear infection. What did you do? Do you have a good homeopath or a good acupuncture or whatever you want? They share information. And we go back to this big difference. Information, communication, connection. The 3 points that are a big difference. So children should know this information about the difference between a man and a woman and be aware of it and start respecting women. In chiropractic, we respect women. We love women, but we respect them for their complexity, their sensibility, their capacity to absorb information, like that. But in the public outside, how many people know that, do you think? Do you think women are still well treated in our society? In the street? Or in the working conditions? Okay, I think we've got a role to play as chiropractors on many, many sectors in life that are vital, I would say, essential. You know, and this is why I don't like to see chiropractic limited to pain, on symptom and stuff like that. On you, women, I've got a special role to play to try to make your point and make understand that you are not only here for the aesthetic standpoint, but you have a lot to bring to change the health of our society. And you are right, we live in a med society, but it's your job to change it. I'm ready to help you, because I think it's a lousy society, by the way. But do you understand, that how much work there is to be done. And I think chiropractic, and you, women associated to chiropractic, you should be even working more than us, men. You should work more because you have got a communication job to be done. Isn't that a nice sentence? So we can relax a little more. That was a joke.
What am I supposed to answer to that? What are we commenting on?
Get motivated.
Get motivated?
Involved into
Well,
getting involved into societies too, for women's societies. No.
all right, yeah. Well, I can back up on what you were saying, because when this guy goes to delivering kindergarten, it takes him literally 30 seconds, and if he's not out by that, he gets real pissy. And every mother is, like going on for a half hour. So, yeah. 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 No, but I think for the women who are chiropractors here, I think within our offices, I never feel like I'm lower than a man in any way whatsoever. I think on stages, if you want to talk politically, yeah, on chiropractic stages, there's half of the men speaking, if we're going to be totally honest, don't say anything. They just talk a lot. They don't actually have too much content sometimes. And then you have maybe 2 women speaking on the stage of 30 men, and those 2 women said more than 10 of those men altogether. I think just women, it's honesty. I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about certain other people here, and just some honesty. But I think the reason why women maybe don't speak up on the stages is because we are different. We're wired different. We don't have the urge to be like the gorilla, banging on our chest, like, I'm here, woo. We're more laid back and quiet, and we do tend to communicate more in smaller groups. And we maybe feel like we get more done when we communicate in smaller groups instead of standing on a stage and trying to motivate people, because I don't think we feel the need to maybe, yeah. Speak to that.
Yes. The thing is, like, I have to always to say, a lot of women don't want to hear that, but when you want that your man is doing something in your direction, it makes no sense talking about it or talk that out, or you can talk about other things, but not really what you want. You have to plant a seed. Like saying something in a different way could reply to somebody else, and this seed is sinking in, and this seed will be sooner or later planted. And then all of a sudden they say then, oh, I have a great idea. And I said, oh, honey, that is perfect. That idea is perfect. So that is really, really simple, and men are really different than women. Like, you can say to a child, like to a girl, please, can you go brush your teeth because you want pretty teeth. That's sinking in with a girl. With boys, brush your teeth now. Because everything, when you say a longer sentence, this is going in here and out there, and they have no idea, what was that? What did you say? They are really functional. And I learned really about men since we have 2 boys, and that I know how simple they are. Really. Like, they are pretty simple, and when you want something, plant a seed. That's what it is. You said, or do what you want. They give some lines, and they need to know there's a line, mister. You cross it over, this will be painful. Whatever it is, maybe getting for a week soup, eating soup. This is working with Mark. Food is working with Mark. So everybody needs to, or women need to know where is the best direction to get what they want and, yeah, move forward. And I think with chiropractic, that women choosing being chiropractors, that is really smart, because you can have your own time schedule. You can have your child next to you. Children are energy. Even when a child is crying during you give somebody adjusting, that's energy. You can say, oh, needs to get, he's hungry, needs to get fed in a minute, whatever. This doesn't bother people. This is not a quiet office where you have to talk really serious about something. It's about life, and children are life. So let them make noises, whatever. And like, I'm hoping for the future, like Anna being done and being a chiropractor. So I think this is really in our lives, there will be some amazing new chiropractors coming.
Thank you. I think you're a great example of what you've been doing with your children, and no compliment, but everybody can notice it, I think. And I like the way you've been able to bridge that between the activity, and you're completely right, it's a great profession for women, and I hope there will be more and more women studying chiropractic. So we are at the time being still a minority in Germany, but again, this is another way to think that our profession has got a lot of power of expansion. There is so much to be done. Medical doctors, young women, young people, young men. Chiropractic has a lot to bring in terms of changing our minds about the society we live in, you know, the patriarchal society, and twist it a little bit and open it up a little bit in direction of matriarchal thinking. Doesn't mean you have to take the power now. Be sensitive, ladies. But in terms of expanding information, changing information, and giving priorities to where it belongs. Because the number one priority, it's not power. You know, think about water. Water is very fluid, it's very weak, but it has more power than cement or steel. So it's not a matter of power, it's a matter of consistency, bringing new ideas, being able to adapt and to create and innovate new relationship. And I would like women to invent a new relationship with their children right from the beginning in terms of respecting themselves, respecting their body, number one. A child has got to respect his own body if you want him to respect other bodies and other people. And this is one of the most important factors in life. If you want to be tolerant, you've got to start liking and loving other people. Respect them even if they are different. But being open-minded and flexible. And this is why women, one more time, are smarter than us, men, because they are more flexible. They've got curves. We are straight. And so curves allow to gather more information than straight. Everybody knows that. Again, the complexity, you know. And I think being able scientifically a little bit to support that kind of concept gives a new role to women in our society. Being exposed to chiropractic, respecting life, sharing this concept, it's a full-time job. And as a mother, you've done absolutely great. Now we need a lot of mothers doing that, almost systematically, that young mother could be exposed to these ideas and they could benefit from it. And I think the chiropractic principles, number one, is to respect life, right? This is what we work with. Nothing else, no principle or life. Life is stronger than anything. And next to life, you have to say love. And what is love? Love is connection. There is a big love story in the body between the right foot and the left foot. They never fight. There is no divorce between the right foot and the left foot. They walk along, otherwise you couldn't stand. So the idea is harmony. And we go to harmony, and again, we go to women and their role to play in our society. But understanding this, I think we need to, men too. You know, it's a woman panel, but men can help women by supporting them, promoting their job, respecting them, number one, and, well, be active too.
And yes, I fully agree with it. I believe everything is about life, and it's a mutual understanding that we respect each other in our diversity. So, so far, I would say our society was really a male society, and I believe most women agree with me. We are all conditioned and trained almost as a male. It starts in kindergarten, it's school is a structure, and actually we function different as women. We want to be free-flowing, and the man is there to protect the woman. So he is a hunter, and if a man has a goal, he said, I'm going there. That is my goal, and there can be a wall. They break through that wall. And a woman is totally different. The woman says, wait a minute, yes, there's that wall. And do you see? You can all the way go around. So our brain is more like spaghetti. We connect with other people. So when we as women talk and we change the subject, every woman knows. And we talk about something different. And if there are men involved, all of a sudden, their face gets blank, and they said, "What? You just were talking about something else?" I said, "Yes, we discussed it, and now we talk about something else." Because the male brain is not like spaghetti; it's like little cubes, like a waffle. It's like one piece. They can focus on one piece. It's like you put the syrup in, and then it needs to go to the next one. So it's one or the other, exactly as you said. Brush your teeth now. They want to have clear directions. So
I have one question for you. So it's very good what you bring again. I have one question. What do you think of the gender, the gender theory that's going on right now, trying to mix the gender, female and male, starting very, very early?
You want to go there?
No, I'm just going to edit it out. So keep it moving. Next question.
Okay, no gender no political theory, no gender theory. No, but it's all right, men and women, let's move. I could say, are you for the same toilets? No, we are not going to talk about this. No, but it's interesting that the political situation, the way children are treated in school too, they are separated, there are different values. So the diversity is the wealth of our society too. It's true that everybody would be stunned, that would be a catastrophe. So we've got to cultivate this difference, but number one, for me, to respect them. First, to acknowledge them, and number two, to respect them. And to implement that respect, not only talking about respect, but doing it, showing it.
just one more aspect and pass it on. So we were talking about really respecting it, and that needs to be ingrained into our society, into our educational system from the very beginning, and realizing, hey, the girls are different than a man also in education, the way they function, and once that's part of the society, I believe we will realize a major shift.
So I'd like to share a little interesting story that happened and an awakening for me. We were at a zoo in Australia, and there was a bunch of female gorillas, and they let the male gorilla out. And he does his thing. And many of the females were very unaware, but there was this one female, this is our job. You want to get what you want, stay very aware, observe, gather all the information. She set herself up. She moved through that whole field. She started to resonate with his movements. All the other females were very unaware. But this one, you knew she was going to get what she wanted. She played her cards, okay? She didn't manipulate. She didn't anything. She just stayed highly aware. She resonated with King Gorilla over there. She set herself up. She got what you needed, what you wanted. Everybody's satisfied. Procreation continues. There's going to be strength and wisdom that's going to go into this new child because of that female gorilla's willingness to be aware and to use her awareness and to pass it on. So when a mother becomes aware of, my kid has a tummy ache, ooh, what can I do? I can rub them. I can do different things. Or the mother's aware when the kid's at school that something happened. Okay? And instantly she sort of cringes and starts to think and pray and send love to that child that's 5 miles down the road. Okay? Our ability to be aware is a gift and it's a tool. We use it when we touch people. We use it when we're with people. We can use it to come into a room and change the energetic field. So, sisters, use it.
Well, from my point of view, just let me put it into this way. I took place in Mark's courses since 5 years, and I think we already got or always get a good mixture between male and female students. Sometimes there are even more female students than male students. And I think, like we've seen in reality in the auditorium and the speakers, there are a lot of women going into chiropractic business, chiropractic care, serving their community besides growing up children. And I think the chiropractic care or chiropractic profession is something that really shows that business and a woman and children and growing up a family can put together in a place, and yeah, just is a good way to raise a family.
You want to say something? I want to go back to what you just said. Being aware, it's just a matter of being open for new information, to be able to pick up information, and this is this sensibility, female sensibility. And when we are just somebody, as we all know now, thanks to Heidi Havik and neurology, when we do something to the spine, we stimulate the frontal lobes of the brain, okay? On the frontal lobe of the brain, it's a capacity to be creative, to be innovative, to be intelligent, to be empathic, and all kinds of qualities that we need to survive in our society today, by opposition to that reptilian system. And this is why, we could also say one word about the right brain and the left brain, the sensibility and the more rational brain. This theory starts to be going down a little bit, I know. But neurologically, the study or the following up of the child from birth for the first few years are capable of defining an entire life. So you are aware of that. The first few years in neurology will affect an entire life. So for a woman, it's a big responsibility to be able to pick up the information from a child. I'm talking about slow motoric things, or reflexes, or crawling, for example. How important crawling is for a child. Children who cannot crawl properly, they all have problems a few years later when they go to school. There's no doubt about it. So what I think is that mothers should know more about chiropractic, what we have to offer. And I think women would believe women better than men telling them the story. This is what I'm trying to say. That's all. So you have a big role to play. Teaching, communicating with your patient in the office, I think it's a great way to do it and to start. And don't hesitate, in my opinion, to share information to the woman a bit about neurology without getting very serious on everything, but say, what we do or don't do today with your child will affect his entire life. Make them aware of that thing. I want to close now, if I may. I want to thank you all very much. And I thank you all too very, very much. It was a great meeting.